Alright, this is lesson 1, tutorial 1, which is Extrude. It's the first tutorial of the basic 3D tutorials. So I'm going to walk you through how to do it. First thing you're going to do is create a rectangle that is 2 inches tall, 3 inches wide, and you're going to extrude it to a depth of 1 inch. So we're going to open a new part file. In Inventor, it's standard IPT is the part file. And there it goes. We're going to start with Create 2D Sketch. That'll bring up the different planes. In this case, it doesn't really matter which plane I design on, so I'll go ahead and select one of them. I chose the right plane. Then I'm going to use Rectangle. And I'm going to click, and I'm going to drag, and I'm going to click again. And I'm going to go up to Dimension. I'm going to click on this edge and pull it out and click on the dimension and tell it to be 2 inches tall. And I need to zoom out a little. And I need to make the width 3 inches wide. And then I'm going to go up to 3D Model. And I'm going to go to Extrude, which is not my favorite view, but it's alright. And we'll hit this arrow to expand the extrude box. And we're going to extrude this rectangle out 1 inch. So we'll say OK. And there it is. And maybe I'll look right at it and rotate it. And that's more of an isometric view right there. And let's go back to the tutorial. The next step is, well, that's the finishing part of the first part of the tutorial. Alright, step 2 on the extrude tutorial is making a triangle that's 1 inch tall and 1.2 inches for the base. And we're going to extrude it back a depth of 1/2 inch. And we're also going to add a taper to it of 10 degrees. So as it extrudes back, it's going to get bigger. And you can see that in the end product here, that the triangle actually gets bigger. So we'll go to Inventor. We're going to open a new part file. And this time, instead of using rectangle, well, first we're going to go to Create Sketch. And this time, we're going to use Line. And I'm going to click, come down, click, come over, and then connect my triangle. I'm going to go to Dimension. I'm going to give it a height of 1 inch and a base of 1.2 inches. And it's going to look like that. Now I just need to go to 3D Model and Extrude. And when I select that triangle, it'll come out. If I wanted to go backwards, I could switch the direction of the extrusion. So maybe I'll have it go backwards. And I'm going to go, the total distance should only be 1/2 inch, so we'll put 0.5. And if I click on More at the top, I have the option to give it a taper. And I'm going to give it a 10-degree taper. And that is going to make the extrusion enlarge the triangle as it goes back. So if we hit OK, there it is. That is the second design of the extrude tutorial. The third design of the extrude tutorial has to do with the creation of a rectangle and then the cutout of a triangle inside of it. So the rectangle we're going to make has the dimensions of 1.25 inches by 0.75 inches in height, by 0.75 inches in height, by 0.5 inches in depth. So you're going to create that rectangle, and it's going to look like this. Then we're going to put a triangle. It's an equilateral triangle, 1/2 inch on each side, and 0.2 inch off the top, and 1/2 inch off the left side. We'll put this equilateral triangle on the front of the rectangle. It's not perfectly centered. It's more to the left side of the rectangle. And then we're going to cut that triangle out of this rectangle till it looks like that. So in order to do that, we will open a new Inventor part file. And we'll start with a sketch. Use the front face. We'll make a rectangle with the dimensions of 1.75. Oops. 1.75. And a height of 1.25. And we're going to then extrude this rectangle back 0.5 inches, and we'll say OK. And there's our rectangle. Now I'm going to look right at it, so if I click on the front face, I'm going to have this face, and I'm going to put a sketch right on it. And remember, I'm making a triangle. It's going to be equilateral, which initially mine won't be, but I will change it to make sure it is. The height from the bottom of this to the bottom of the triangle needs to be 0.2. Enter. And the width of the triangle is going to be 0.5. Okay. And now each of the other sides, I'm going to bring out the dimension. And if I right click on it, I can select aligned, and that'll give me this dimension, and I can make that 0.5. Or another way to do it is the constraints on the top. You see this equal constraint. I can just click on it, and I can tell this side to be equal to this side, and now I have an equilateral triangle. And I can tell the dimension from here to here to be 0.5. And we say OK. And now does that look? That doesn't look like the one in the tutorial. Let me go back to those original dimensions. 1.25 by 0.75. Okay, so I'm going to go back and make an adjustment here. This will be good for you to see. I'm going to say Finish Sketch. And I'm going to edit the extrusion. The first one, I'm going to go to Edit Sketch and change the dimensions to 0.75. And edit dimension. Oops. 1.25. That's what it was supposed to look like. Now if I finish, now my rectangle looks much more proportional to the tutorial. So now I can go to Extrude, Cut. I'm going to select this triangle in the middle, and it's going to cut the triangle through. If I hit OK, I now have this rectangular surface with a triangular cutout. And the last part of this tutorial, so there's the triangular shape, and then we turn it into a cutout, and we just created this. Now the last part of this tutorial is changing that cutout and actually making it an addition of a triangular shape out the front. And the way you're going to do that is go back into Extrusion 2, and we'll right click on it and go to Edit Feature. And instead of doing a cut, we're going to add material. And instead of it going into the block, we're going to tell it to come out of the block. And we'll say OK. And now we have the rectangle with the triangular addition. That is it for the Extrude tutorial of Basic 3D.